Hi everybody, welcome to my channel if you're new here, welcome back to my channel if you're a returning viewer or subscriber. In today's video I'm going to be talking through my summer reading list. You can't even see them, but I have a bunch of books here that I'm hoping to get through across the summertime. I hope I didn't just spoil the entire video. These are kind of just like summer hopefuls. They're not all the books in the world that I will be picking up this summer. I'm not sure whether I'll even get to this many, but these are just the books I have on my radar as of, what's the date today? The 12th of June. I'm filming this a little bit late. I actually already filmed this video and then it went terribly because my microphone wasn't fully plugged in, which means I got the entire video finished and then found out that there was no audio. So we're not going to do that this time. I'm not sure how many books. I think there are 10 here that I have to discuss with you, which is a good round number. That's pretty much all there is to it. We've got a bunch of different genres, we've got a bunch of different lengths of books, styles of books, books published across various different years. For one reason or another, I want to try and pick up across this summertime. I'm unfortunately not going anywhere as of yet. I don't have any summer plans at all, which is just the most depressing thing in the world, but also a massive first world problem. It's actually totally fine, but it means I can kind of escape away with my reading, which is all I can wish for. So here we go. A list of reading for an at-home summer, a staycation if you will, except we're staying at home. We're throwing it back to 2020 and we're staying at home. I'll probably do some sort of day trips and things like that, but most of this will be read probably in my garden if we do get some warm weather along the way. Currently it's not looking great. It's grey and cold today, hence the like woolen cardigan, but that's fine. This stack is in no particular order. I'm just gonna go with kind of whatever I see in front of me first, but if I pick up something that's not your kind of vibe, don't worry, because I'm sure that something later on it will be, because like I said, we've got all the genres in this stack. So the book on top here is Exteriors by ernaux. The reason why I've chosen this book is simply because it's the only ernaux book that I own that I haven't yet read. This is a collection of random journal entries over the course of 7 years that concentrates on ephemeral encounters that take place just on the periphery of a person's lived environment. So these are just little things that ernaux witnessed, what she saw. If you're not familiar with her work already, she writes a lot of fusions of almost like fiction and non-fiction. I can't remember the term for it, but probably lean towards classifying this as non-fiction. And Fitzcarraldo, who publish her books, actually would agree with me because they publish all of their non-fiction in these white covers and all of their fiction in blue covers, and all of Ernaux's work are in white ones. I'm not sure how this book is going to go. I'm not sure how I'm going to find it. I simply own it because I asked for Ernaux last year for my birthday. My birthday's in July, so it's come up to a year of me not having read this yet. I've just been craving more of her work. So far I've read Simple Passion and Getting Lost. Getting Lost kind of supports Simple Passion, but Simple Passion was my favourite book of last year, my favourite read of last year. I filmed a video actually in this location at the end of last year where I ran through my top 10 books of the year, and that was the #1 book. I'll have it linked in the cards and down below if you're interested. I'm just desperate. I'm really itching to read some more Ernaux because it's been a while since I last did. So that's the first book on the TBR. I'm not sure when I'm going to get to it, but whenever I'm in the mood for her work, which will probably be sooner rather than later, this will be the one I'm picking up. I want to put these in a way that you can see them. Maybe we'll start a little stack here. See it gradually grow as we go throughout the video. I have My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante, a book I actually put on a monthly TBR a couple of months ago, but I didn't get around to it. This is a series I've always wanted to read in the summertime anyway. They're set in Naples in Italy, and it's following two girls as they grow up. And it's about their friendship, but also how their lives kind of differ as they get older. We follow them across a long span of time, and I've heard nothing but kind of incredible things about the series. There's 4 books total. I own all 4 of them. I'm really, really keen to get the series going. I feel like just like the setting of Italy is going to be perfect to escape to in the summertime, even though I can't physically be there. And I just think all in all this is going to be a really fantastic read. Lots about girlhood, lots about growing up and the challenges of that while you're trying to face that with someone else as well, and the kind of like ebbs and flows of a really close friendship. It says it's a ravishing and generous-hearted novel, an unforgettable portrait of 2 young women seeking to carve out a destiny for themselves, and the story of a city and a country undergoing momentous change. I heard great things. I'm so excited to see how I personally find it. I originally had Happy Place by Emily Henry on this list, discovered that there was no audio, so I had to refilm this video a couple of weeks later, and I've actually already started that book. I didn't really want to mention a book that I was hoping to get to and it be one that I've already started, so I decided to scrap that one. So just know that one's being read. And I switched out for another romance book. This is The Happy Ever After playlist by Abby Jimenez, who's actually an author who gets compared to Emily Henry like a decent amount, especially within the past couple of months with her new release, Something Something Summer. I don't remember the name of it. The Happy Ever After playlist is the title by Abby Jimenez that intrigues me the most. We follow this girl called Sloane, and she's been really struggling to get her life back on track after going through a really difficult time. She actually lost her fiance. And one day she's walking through the park, I think it is, and she finds a dog. It's a dog that clearly has an owner. There's no sign of the owner anywhere, so she contacts the owner via the collar, I assume. It turns out that he is a famous musician and he's actually on tour across the other side of the world. I think he's in Australia. She kind of babysits his dog while he's away, and they start this kind of like flirtatious text exchange. It just sounds like a lot of fun, and I really, really love the one of his famous trope. I feel like this could be a really good one. I have such high hopes, especially because if you are an Arctic Monkeys fan, you would be familiar with this piece of art behind me. One of their album covers, like on a poster. Yeah, big Arctic Monkeys fan, if that's not incredibly evident already. And the back of this book, there's actually a playlist of songs that the author thought were appropriate for the novel, and in it is Do I Want to Know, number 33, Do I Want to Know by Arctic Monkeys. Arguably like their most famous song ever, but also iconic. Like I never see it in book playlists. There's also other great artists here. We have Billie Eilish, The Wombats, The Smiths, Coin, Japanese House. We have Mazzy Star, The Neighborhood, Bon Iver, Tame Impala, The Black Keys, Bring Me the Horizon, Radiohead. Like we've got it all here. Like this author has great taste in music, so I'm thinking that if she has the taste in music, that she's going to be able to write about a musician that's really kind of like up my street. So that's what I'm hoping. That's what I really want from this book. We'll see how it delivers, and I'm really excited for this to be my first Abby Jimenez, and for this to hopefully be the kind of like the gateway, I think the gateway drug, the gateway into her work for me. I have a little modern classic. This is A Certain Smile by Françoise Sagan. Last year I read Bonjour Tristesse. I think it was actually this month last year, and I loved that book so much. This is actually a bind up of those two little novellas. I'm really keen to get to A Certain Smile, A, because I love Bonjour Tristesse, but also B, I'm really worried about just like forgetting about it because it is in this bind up, because I've tabbed and annotated it. I've read one of the stories in this book and I feel like I'm just going to put it aside and forget about it, not remember the fact that I have like a whole other 50% of it to get through. I've been putting it off because I didn't get around to it last summer, so I've been waiting till the summertime so I can finally pick it up, and I'm sure that I'm gonna have a great time. I think it follows an affair. Dominique, a young woman bored with her lover, begins an encounter with an older man that unfolds in unexpected and troubling ways. Sagan's writing is beautiful. I had such a good time with Bonjour Tristesse, and I've actually heard from a lot of people that they prefer A Certain Smile over Bonjour Tristesse, so that could be the case for me. If that was, that would be amazing, because I love Bonjour Tristesse so much that I actually gave it 4.5 stars. Maybe A Certain Smile will be a 5-star read for me. Bonjour Tristesse was absolutely drenched in the summertime, and I'm hoping that the same could be said for the other story in this book. I didn't want to mention these books one after the other, but I feel like they just go hand in hand and I kind of have no excuse not to. This is Too Much and Not the Mood. I'm going to refrain from attempting to pronounce the author's name, but I'll have it on the screen and down below and everything like that. The reason why Françoise Sagan is linked with this author is because this author is the director and maybe even the screenwriter for the new adaptation that's coming out of Bonjour Tristesse. They made a feature film like many years ago, but they're in the process of shooting a new kind of like updated one. I think it sounds like it's going to be fantastic. It's almost like a fully French cast. Some really great actors that I've been enjoying over the past year are in it as well. And so I have so much hope, given that I love the source material, you know, how the film is looking like it's going to be, that I'm going to really fall in love with the film as well. So I really want to try a little piece of the director's work. It's the collection of essays all about her life, her ethnicity, her identity, her culture, and I've heard incredible things about this from other readers. Lyrical and piercingly insightful cluster of essays, informed by Maggie Nelson's Bluets, Lydia Davis's short stories, and Vivian Gornick's exploration of interior life. The author mines the inner restlessness that keeps her always on the brink of creative expression. Part memoir, part cultural criticism, this book is a lush, surprising, and affecting examination of what it means to be a first-generation creative young woman working today. I'm so incredibly excited about this, and I'm so intrigued to see what this woman is about, how she writes, how she kind of interacts with the world, how she sees the world through her eyes particularly. Big old fantasy book. I wasn't sure whether I wanted to mention this or not because I'm just making my way through this series, so I know almost for a fact that I'm going to get to this in the summertime, but I don't know. I just thought, you know, for a 10th book I would mention this anyway because I will be getting to it, and I don't want to be kind of like piling this TBR up with books that I can't get to because I'm focusing on this book that I didn't mention in this video. Does that make sense? Probably not. Queen of Shadows by Sarah J Maas. So at the moment, I have it over there. I'm in the middle of Heir of Fire. That's the 3rd book in the Throne of Glass series in terms of like the main novels in the series. This is book 4. She's chunky, she's big, but I'm having the most amazing time with this series. I just love it so much. I just recently purchased this copy so I could launch into it pretty much as soon as I'm done with Air of Fire. I mention this literally every single video, but I'm in the middle of buddy reading the series with Lucy from the channel Library of Lucy. I'll have her on the screen, link down below all the places. She's pretty much like a permanent fixture in my description box because of how much I mention her in my videos. But we're having such a good time with the buddy read. I'm loving the series. I'm loving reading it alongside Lucy, seeing how she's finding it aside from me, but also like what we agree on, what we disagree on. It's a really, really solid fantasy series. If you haven't read it already and you're into kind of thing, then what are you doing? Maybe July, maybe August, I will probably be picking up Queen of Shadows by Sarah J Maas. At least this book. Maybe future books in the series, but definitely this one I'm thinking. I'm just going to rearrange this stack a bit so this doesn't fall over. So on my 2024 TBR, I have Eve's Hollywood by Eve Babitz. I'm actually in the middle of a different Eve Babbitt's collection of essays, but this one's on my 2024 TBR, so I do kind of want to get to it in summer. However, I recently bought Slow Days Fast Company, which is a much shorter little collection of Babbitt's work, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I feel like I could put this on my 2024 TBR in replacement of this, but either way, one of these books I'd like to get to this summer. It will depend on what I'm feeling, what I'm in the mood for, how much time I have. Obviously there's a big difference in terms of the length of these two books. I've heard incredible things about Eve Babbitt's work. She was the like it girl of the 60s and 70s, living it up in Southern California. She had a lot of connections with some very cool people, like she was in a relationship with Jim Morrison at a point, and she just knew all the gossip, all of the things that were going down, all the fun, all of the crazy kind of nightlife that we don't get to see so much as just like normal citizens of the world. She had all the experiences, but she also decided to document it for us as well. From what I've read, I've really enjoyed her writing style. She's very witty, she's very funny. She writes in a way that you can tell she's very smart, but she's also down for a really good time, so she doesn't kind of compromise in either of those areas. She's also really good-hearted, and I'm just really enjoying her writing, her stories, everything like that. So you can bet that one of these books will be read across the summertime, and I'll keep you updated. If you've read all of her work, or at least both of these two books, let me know which one I should start with. Maybe that would help me out in terms of which one I choose. But yeah, we'll put them both on the stack. Go with the chunky fantasy, or do we go with the modern classic? I'm thinking chunky fantasy. Okay, this is, I probably would say my number one priority this summertime. It's definitely the most intimidating book on this book stack. I do want to read it, and I'm going to feel so accomplished once I'm finished, and hopefully we'll have had a good time. I feel the experience will be good, but I'm a bit tentative. So this book is Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. This is the second book in the, what are these books called? The Empyrean series. It's the second book following Fourth Wing. That's a better way of telling what this is, because everybody and their mother has read Fourth Wing. Everybody and their mother and their dog and their aunt and their sister and their cousin has read Fourth Wing. Yeah, Fourth Wing, absolute hit. I loved it a lot. It was like a 4.75 star, 5-star read, that kind of territory. I really, really enjoyed it. I had such a good time. It was very entertaining. It made me cry at points. I was just kind of on the edge of my seat with it. Iron Flame came out in November. I was so excited about this release. I got the book for Christmas, still so excited, and then the reviews started rolling in. People who were diehard fans of the first book were actually DNFing this book, or getting to the end and giving it like 3 stars, 2 stars. Some people loved this kind of on par with Fourth Wing. I think very, very few people enjoyed it more than Fourth Wing, but for the most part there were just terrible reviews saying this was too long. You got kind of like swamped with world building, and the main relationship plot was like really irritating. Just a whole load of terrible things, which has made me really scared to pick up this series and to continue on with it. But seeing as I own it, and seeing as I enjoyed the first book so much, I'm willing to give it a go, and I feel like that's what I'm going to do over the summertime. Seeing as it's a year ago since I read Fourth Wing, it's probably better that I do this sooner rather than later. I also read a lot of Fourth Wing sitting outside. I buddy read it again with Lucy, and we had a really, really fun time. We had so many reactions to the book and the plot points. I love being able to read it outside. Something really special about just cradling this massive fantasy book and getting lost in this world, but also enjoying like the fresh air and the warm weather and things like that. The minute the weather turns warm, that's what I want to be doing with this book too. Wish me luck. Hopefully this is an okay read. I know the next book, like the title's already been announced, and that'll be coming out sooner rather than later, so I definitely want to read this before we get any hint of that. I don't know. We'll see. Again, I'm gonna have to rearrange the stack. Okay, this book stack is gonna fall over like any second. We need to just get it going with this final book. Okay. It beat me to it. I've just moved it off my pillow so it's on a flatter surface, but I'll hold all the books up at the end so you can see what they are and be reminded of them. Last book here is a bit of a random one to end on, but I'm still very excited about it. Again, I've saved it, you'll see why. This is Summer Crossing by Truman Capote. I've read several books by Truman Capote. I've read Breakfast at Tiffany's, arguably one of his most famous works, other than Ink or Blood. And I've also read some of his short stories in his collection of Christmas short stories. I really like his writing style, so I'm excited to read more of his work. And when I saw this book, I was very, very intrigued because it actually says, anticipating Holly Golightly with its free-spirited heroine, Truman Capote's recently discovered debut novel is also a captivating portrayal of first love. But I get the impression that this was the lost novel that inspired Breakfast at Tiffany's, is what the Times says. So seeing as I enjoy Breakfast at Tiffany's, I should enjoy the kind of piece of writing that inspired that or allowed that to become a thing, kind of birthed that into reality. This is a great cover. We've got some brilliant pictures here. It just sounds like a lot of fun. Obviously the word summer is in the title, so yes, that is the reason why I had put it off to read in the summertime. I got it right at the end of last summer, I think. I didn't get around to it, and I'm very excited to finally see how it is. It's a very, very short little classic, so I'm sure that I'm going to be able to get through it at some point. It says, flame-haired Grady McNeil is beautiful, rich and defiant. Her privileged society life leaves her wanting more than her conventional parents have in mind for her, and excitement comes in the form of the highly unsuitable Clyde, a Brooklyn-born Jewish parking attendant. When Grady's mother and father leave her alone one summer in their New York penthouse, her secret affair intensifies, and she's forced to make decisions that will alter her future indelibly. Intrigued. Okay, everybody. Those are the 10 books, or 11, seeing as we've got both of the babitz there, that I'm very excited to read across this summertime. I'm quite a fussy reader, so I'm definitely, you know, there'll be books here that like I have high hopes for, and then I'm quite harsh with how I feel about them. Let me know what you'd like to read this summer. Let me know if we have anything overlapping. We've got some iconic titles, some more kind of like underground works as well. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up to let me know that you did. Subscribe if you'd like to stick around and see how I feel about these books. If you would like reading vlogs on literally any of these, let me know. Let a girl know. I'm very happy to oblige to deliver that for you. Happy reading, happy summertime. I hope that we all have either restful or exciting, thrilling or rejuvenating summer, and that you enjoy it spent outside in the sun and the warmth. If you're in the Southern Hemisphere, I feel you. I'm Australian and I get the neglect. I understand it, so happy winter. I hope that you can embrace the cold weather vibes while not feeling too much FOMO from missing out on whatever is happening up here. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. I love spending time with you. I love talking to you about books because my favourite thing in the world, and there's nothing better, to be honest, than carrying on about fiction and non-fiction. By the way, if you want some summer book recs, I've already actually filmed a video where I ran through I think it was 10, maybe even more, summer book recs. And I also actually have a video from last year where I also ran through book recs. I didn't repeat those books in this year's version of that, so you've got 2 videos full of summer book recs if you want books that I actually like highly recommend, not ones that I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about them yet. Sending my love to you from here to wherever you may be in the world, and I'll see you very, very soon in a couple of days for another video. Bye bye.